Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to News Talk with yours truly, Chris, and we're coming to you from Houston, Texas, as usual. Thank you for tuning in. And if you are joining by way of the social media, YouTube or Facebook, please go ahead, hit the share button and let everybody out there know that the anchor man is not live. I am indeed alive. I am not AI. You are looking at the real Chris Anu, the anchor man himself. This is going to be very, very exciting, ladies and gentlemen. So much happening on the ground in La République du Cameroon, the neighboring country, La République du Cameroon. They were supposed to be proclaiming the results of their October 12th elections tomorrow. But today they put out a statement saying that the results are postponed. The results are postponed for tomorrow. I'm sorry, the results are postponed for Monday. So they are no longer proclaiming the results tomorrow. They are proclaiming them on Monday. I see something going on in the background there, and I will be bringing it to you really soon in this broadcast. So please stay tuned as, again, this promises to be very, very informative, educative, and entertaining as usual. There is no television without entertainment, no matter how serious we may look like here. So please stay tuned. I will be right back in less than a minute.
Before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricatv@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricatv@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricatv@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I was told that the first time I came up, nobody was hearing me. I hope you can hear me now, because what happens here in the studio is I don't hear myself. I always see the indicators on the screen as to whether my audio is on or not. So let me know. Let me know if you can hear me at this moment. I hope you can hear me because I think it is okay now. So thank you for tuning in. Of course, I am yours truly, Chris Anu, coming to you as usual from the great state of Texas, Houston, Texas. A lot is going on the ground in La République du Cameroon. The Constitutional Council of La République du Cameroon was supposed to proclaim the results of their October 12th elections tomorrow, being Thursday. But waking up this morning, we got a press statement coming from the Constitutional Council that the proclamation has been postponed to Monday. So they will be reading the results on Monday. But the question lingers. The question lingers. What is going on? What is going on? I will answer the question in my monologue that I bring to you really soon. So please, I am told that you can hear me now. Go ahead, hit that share button on Facebook, hit the share button or send out a link from YouTube. Let everybody know that the anchor man is not just live. He is alive. As you can see, this is not AI. This is indeed the anchor man, Chris Anu. Please do not touch your remote. I am coming back to update you with what is going on the ground. I'll be right back.
Yes, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricatv@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricatv@gmail.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, once more, thank you for tuning in through satellite television in all of Africa and the social media, YouTube and Facebook in the diaspora. I bring you the first story tonight, and it has to do with a petition, an open letter in that matter, sent to the Constitutional Council in La République du Cameroon by a group that calls itself Project C. Project C. Project C, I mean C stands for Cameroon, I guess. Today, they sent out a petition to the Constitutional Council in charge of proclaiming the results of October 12th elections in Cameroon, and they are essentially telling them to work with their consciences and not what they are told to do. I bring you a summary of what they have put out there in an open letter directed to every single member of the Constitutional Council in La République du Cameroon. And the appeal reads, this is my own paraphrase, a strongly worded letter addressed to all members of the Cameroon Constitutional Council is urging the body to reject what it calls fraudulent presidential election results and to uphold the nation's constitution by demanding a full audit before certification. The open letter signed by Project C, Project Cameroon members on Tuesday, that was yesterday, warns that Cameroon stands at a crossroads and that the Council's actions in the coming days will determine how history remembers its members, the members of the Constitutional Council. It cites Articles 45, 47, and 48 of the Cameroon Constitution, describing them as a sacred duty to ensure the regularity of presidential elections. The authors accuse election administrators of announcing predetermined outcomes that contradict results publicly posted at polling stations across the country. The discrepancy, now I'm quoting them now, the discrepancy is not minor, they wrote. It is fundamental. The letter reads, power, they said, obtained through fraud is illegitimate. No signature, no seal, no declaration can make fraud lawful. The statement calls on the Constitutional Council to delay certification and conduct an independent audit with international observers, and they warn that validating disputed results will make members accomplices to fraud. It references Kenya's 2017 Supreme Court decision annulling election results in that country as a precedent for courage in defending democracy. The authors also urge councillors in La République du Cameroun to resign or issue dissenting opinions if pressured to endorse what they know to be false. Your silence, they say, in the face of obvious fraud will be remembered as cowardice, the letter states. It concludes with a direct appeal to conscience. When your children ask what you did in this moment, and they will ask, what will you tell them? What will you tell them? That you validated fraud because you were told to, or that you defended democracy when it mattered most. The Constitutional Council has not yet responded to this. Again, the letter is circulating out there and it has been directed to every single member, ladies and gentlemen, every single member of the Constitutional Council. The men you find on your screen there, the men you find on your screen there, they hold the fate of Cameroon elections in their hands. And this letter has been directed to every single one of them by name, by name. And we are waiting to see what they do, how they react from that letter sent out by members of the Cameroon project. They call it Project C. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the Constitutional Council was supposed to be announcing the results tomorrow, Thursday, October the 23rd. But waking up today, they announced that the proclamation has been postponed to Monday. We do not know whether Monday will even see its proclamation because lots of things are going on the ground and in the background. In the background, and we do not really know. There are some quarters that say they are trying to give La République du Cameroun CPDM regime more time to figure out how to handle the post proclamation results. And there is also a shade of opinion that says there is negotiation going on between the two camps of power here, his regime and that of Issa Chiroma, on an exit strategy. They are negotiating an exit strategy for the regime, in which case, if that is true, it means on Monday you may hear of a President Issa Chiroma. I hate that thing they call them excellency. That is nonsense. Only in Africa do I hear them addressing leaders as Your Excellency, Your Excellency, when they are all corrupt and fraudulent leaders. Only in Africa. But ladies and gentlemen, at this moment, I am going to take you into my monologue for tonight. And after that, of course, I will bring you my panel for tonight. My panel for tonight to do justice to the subject. So please. All right. So please, I'm bringing you my monologue. Stay tuned. I'm going to be right back.
Target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricatv@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our
All right, thank you for staying put, ladies and gentlemen. Again, the subject of my monologue tonight is titled the Smoking Gun. The smoking gun. You may be wondering what this smoking gun is all about. Don't be worried. Don't be worried. As usual, I will do justice. I will do justice and explain exactly what this smoking gun is all about. I want to speak directly to what is unfolding in Cameroon, because this is not merely an election. What's being exposed is a lack of a. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on in there. My teleprompter is messing me up here. The teleprompter is messing me up here. Let's please put it up again. Put it up again. Let's get started here. All right, I think I'm getting back up again on the teleprompter. I want to speak directly to what is unfolding in Cameroon, because this is not merely an election. I'm referring to October 12th. What's being exposed is, a lack of a better word or a blunt word, a fraud machine. The regime of Paul Biya, the Electoral Commission, and the Constitutional Council of La République du Cameroon are acting in concert to deliver a predetermined outcome of the elections of October 12th. And the recent revelations by Jeune Afrique belong at the heart of that indictment. According to Jeune Afrique, emissaries of or representatives of Paul Biya dispatched last week, led by the governor of the northern region to Issa Chiroma, ladies and gentlemen, approached the candidate, approached Issa Chiroma Bakare before the official proclamation of the results. Again, that is a key word, before the proclamation of official results. They offered him the post of prime minister. However, on condition that he drops his contention of the election result and supply a list of his close collaborators to the regime to be appointed into the administration. In addition, the regime promised the revision of the electoral code ahead of the 2026 local and parliamentary elections. What does all this amount to? How does it sound in your ears? If not accessory before the fact, if Chiroma was offered high office, patronage, access to government positions, and a role in crafting the next electoral code, all before the official results have been proclaimed, then what we are witnessing is not competitive politics, It is a rigged process from end to end. Let's get the point very clear. The fraud in this case is not confined to the offers made, the bribes, the patronage, the coercive inducements. All of them matter. But the core, the crux is this: the regime and its instruments know the outcome before official proclamation, or at the very least, they acted as though they do. They approached Chiroma, negotiated, offered him a deal, expected him to play along. Why negotiate if you do not know what the outcome will be or the outcome is? Why promise the winner's spoils if you have not already decided the winner? That's a question on the balance. If this is not proof of fraud, then what is it? How did the Biya regime know 2 weeks in advance of proclamation of the results who would win? How did the regime act with such confidence, even entitlement? Why extend the olive branch of premiership if you still needed to wait for counting, certification, and result proclamation? What logic in competitive election would allow that? It makes the election exercise look like window dressing, a theater of democracy wrapped around a foregone conclusion. So we must ask, every Cameroonian out there should ask, was the vote ever meant to matter? Was the counting ever real? Or was the election simply an instrument of legitimization to give the impression of democracy while the outcome had already been negotiated behind closed doors? The apparatus is clear. ELECAM, the regime's counting commission, issues provisional results, and we've seen out there in the social media from Minad pointing to Biya's victory. The Constitutional Council stands ready to proclaim the official result tomorrow, Thursday, as planned. Yet, suddenly, the proclamation has been postponed until Monday with no official explanation. Instead of transparency, we get silence. Instead of certification, we get delay. Why the delay though? There are two possibilities that loom. The first one, the council simply needs more time to allow the regime to prepare for the political fallout of the outcome. Or two, perhaps, just perhaps, the regime is willing to negotiate an exit, but only if its conditions are met. If Issa Chiroma agrees to negotiate, then the regime and its electoral body might shift the proclamation to him, unlocking the exit plan carefully negotiated. In either scenario, if the council declares the result as Biya's victory on Monday without delay, the picture will be clear. This was never about credible competition. It was about process control. Now let me walk you through why this matters. In any credible democracy, the contest happens first. The outcome emerges from the tally. Winners are declared. Losers accept or legally contest. Not the other way around. But here we see the reverse. Proud to official tally, the regime negotiates the spoils, shapes the transition of government, offers positions, and all predicated on the assumption of victory. That turns the election into a sham, isn't it? That is what it is. Because the election did not end with the voting, but likely ended long before at the negotiation table. The people's ballots became secondary. The counting became secondary. And the institutional finalism of the Constitutional Council became mere rubber stamp. Elekam's role was not to reflect the will of the people, but to produce a result compatible with a pre-negotiated arrangement. And that is the fraud. That is the fraud. And make no mistake here, the Constitutional Council, by delaying proclamation and enabling this process, becomes party to the fraud. Elekam, by surrendering counting to negotiation rather than transparency and verification, becomes part of the fraud. The regime, the BS regime, by orchestrating the deal behind the scenes, becomes the architect of fraud. This is not just democratic erosion. This is a rigged election. For the people of La République du Cameroon and for the world watching, the stakes are huge. If the proclamation goes ahead on Monday without genuine transparency, without reckoning for the offers made before counting, and without open verification of every polling station result, then every legal recourse, every institutional facade, every democratic sentence would have been desecrated. If the proclamation identifies Biya as a winner, after all this has played out, few will believe the outcome. If alternatively, Issa Chiroma accepts Biya's exit and negotiate his exit, then they will proclaim the results in his favor as a winner of the election. He would have won the vote and the bargain. And as for the next steps, the regime already signaled its intention to revise the electoral code before next year's local and parliamentary elections. That too is very telling, isn't it? Elections are not genuine mechanisms for change. They are preset transitions. And the code is being altered to cement the arrangement, not open democracy. In short, this isn't about one contested election in La République du Cameroon. It is about a system that knows its outcome before the vote, negotiates it before the count, then moves its institutions to proclaim it after. That is fraud in its purest form. The election became a show. As you prepare for what happens on Monday, ladies and gentlemen, remember this: the people voted. The ballots were cast. But if you overlook the pre-negotiation, you miss the greater crime. If you watch the result proclaimed and you say nothing, you become participant in the fraud. If you believe the process is legitimate because papers were signed, seals placed, verdict published, think about it again. Think again. Because the real fraud lies in the moment when a candidate was offered the premiership, the prime minister position, before the votes were even tallied. That in plain daylight is a smoking gun. That is accessory before the fact to election fraud. That is the core, the crux of the matter here. Let Monday come, but let it come under the scrutiny of every Cameroonian, every observer, and every defender of democracy in that country. Because what will be proclaimed will not simply say winner declared. It will say whether institutions stood for the people or for a regime. And if the institution choose to serve the regime, then Cameroon's democracy, so-called, is not just at a crossroads. It's been shoved off the road. That is my monologue to you today, ladies and gentlemen. I am hoping that my guests are all here. Unfortunately, they are not here. I see one is locked on. Brado, I see you, but I need your camera horizontal, please. Just spin it around. That would be good. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was my monologue to you. Again, let me kind of do a rough summary of what I am saying here. If indeed the Constitutional Council is delaying the proclamation of the election till Monday, just so it can negotiate Bia's exit, I think everybody will welcome that. And I think I will support Issa Chiroma to negotiate that exit. That is what, those are the features that we are hearing. Those are the features we are hearing. But if the proclamation is being delayed just so the regime can prepare for the aftermath of the proclamation because Issa Chiroma refuses to dance the music, then they are preparing for war. They are preparing for war in that country. Because one thing is sure, Issa Chiroma is not going to negotiate that victory that he won on October 12th. Let me show you something here. This is what Issa's Chiroma campaign has put out there. And I buy it. Those are the results coming from Issa's Chiroma campaign. And again, I buy those results. And I will explain to you the reason why I buy those results. I will explain to you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I buy these results. I buy these results because these results, the results that you find there, were not just picked from some true gamble. The results you find there, the results were cross-checked from polling station to polling station. I read an article by Project C. Project C actually quote, I think, article 35 and 47 of the Cameroon Constitution or election laws that says that the elections will be counted and announced at each polling station. The elections will be counted and made public, in other words, announced at each polling station. So, going by that, what you see here on your screen, 54.8% for Issa Chiroma and 31.3% for Paul Biya. Those are the tallies, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the tallies of the total election results collected from across the country by Issa Chiroma's own campaign. Again, they are verifiable facts. If the Constitutional Council, they want Cameroonians, their citizens, to believe in the result they proclaim on Monday, they should be able to match the results they have with those that Issa Chiroma is using to come up with these figures here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I will bring in my guest here, who is joining me from the state of Maryland, talking about Tabenyang Echu, who is a really good political commentator out there. Good to have you, sir. Good to have you, Brado. I can see you. Can you see me? I think he is frozen up. He is frozen up. All right, we will continue. John Ba Akuro should also be joining me here. He is not here yet. I am hoping that he comes up soon. In the moment, let me take a brief break out, and I will be right back. Do not touch your remote. This promises to be very, very important. I'll be right back.
ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricativ@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricativ@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricativ@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricativ@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricativ@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricativ@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising.
All right. Thank you. My apologies for that, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes we have technical difficulties and we have to find out what the problem is. And so I'm hoping that my panel joins me as soon as they can. In the meantime, while waiting for
Can
them,
you hear me?
that was my monologue. Let me bring in Tabayang Brado. Let me bring in Tabayang Brado to contribute to the monologue that I put out there. Brado, sorry for the technical issues out there. Again, if you listen to me, you heard that the Constitutional Council postponed the proclamation of the result that was supposed to be done tomorrow, Thursday, but they moved it to Monday. There is a line of thought that says they are just doing that to give the regime much more time to prepare for the aftermath of the proclamation. But then there is also the other line of thought that says negotiations are ongoing between Bia's regime and Chiroma to prepare an exit strategy, to agree on an exit strategy for Bia regime and bring in Isa Chiroma. Give me your thoughts on this, please.
Thank you for having me, Chris, and I extend my greetings to viewers worldwide. I don't think that there is anything new in the monologue, given that the results of the election is a foregone conclusion. Even cynical
Yes, I can
will
hear you.
assume that there was an election. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I'm saying that even cynical to even assume that there was an election, given that the results were a foregone conclusion from the beginning. I indicated that there is just no way any individual that really merit credibility to think that somebody is going to be and the player in the same game and that individual is going to lose. It's practically impossible. And whatever they are doing right now, whether it's a delay or not, these are things that the regime has done from time immemorial. There's nothing they're doing now that they have not done before. Unfortunately, it's some kind of poetic justice to Chiruma himself, because what the regime is doing now is what he himself was part of, and he knows the in and out of what the regime does. Are they negotiating? Probably. Are they just trying to create room for what to happen? That also is a possibility. You can't really rule anything out when it comes to that regime. And if you say that maybe they're negotiating some kind of exit strategy, what kind of exit strategy? If Chiruma won, what are they negotiating? For him to stay there and then Chiruma does what? What did he do that he will be negotiating an exit strategy? There's no hold up. He is the one holding up the country. So if there is any negotiation, I don't see the terms of that negotiation. Instead, they offer Chiruma the position of the prime minister. It's laughable, really cynically laughable for anyone to think that uh, a government that has proven itself that the role of the prime minister is completely useless, that is what they would offer to Chiruma. But you can't blame them. Chiruma has always played that game that after every election, he goes into negotiations with his bodies and ends up in another ministerial department. They probably look at it this time that, okay, we're going to elevate you from a regular minister to another uh, position with no portfolio in the office of the prime minister. If they offer him the role of the speaker of the president of the senate, that is practically the next to the presidency as far as the structure is concerned. Are you sure that is not going to accept? So let's just keep watching what is unfolding. But for me, I think the people of Cameroon, speaking Cameroonians, are not ready to take back their country. If they are ready to take back their country, they should be in the streets. They should not be waiting for the proclamation of the results. The results are obvious. You know what is going to happen. So what is this charade people are saying? No, let's wait until the proclamation of the results. That is not going to cut it. And if you look at some of the shenanigans that the regime is playing, from when Kanto Candidacy was rejected, for me personally as an analyst, I knew that it was a dry run to test and dare the population that we dare you. We're going to reject somebody that can challenge the regime. And the Kanto himself and his loud supporters went silent. Is that what is going to happen here? With all of what is going on in the background, possibly, is the opposition and the people of Cameroon ready to sit out there in the streets for a month non-stop, shut down the economic capital of Douala, shut down major cities in Cameroon, so that even if Yaounde is breathing, it will be easy to stifle the regime. Are they ready to do that? We hope that is what is going to happen.
When we talk about negotiation, don't you think that for the interest of avoiding war, it makes sense for if they should contact Chiroma to want to agree for a way out for the regime, maybe to agree to some concessions that make them feel safe and secure moving out, handing over.
But the regime, Chiroma has already given them his word. Again, the best negotiation is for him to concede and concede gracefully that he has lost. If that is what the results are showing, and whenever they make them public for verification, if that is what it is, the best negotiation is for him to concede, call Chiruba, and concede gracefully. I don't think that whatever they're doing in the back door, when you hold up in a negotiation, there's a hold up. What is holding it up? Is Chiruba saying that it's going to go after them? The answer is no. So what are they negotiating in essence?
Conceding would probably be part of the negotiation terms, isn't it?
They should not be negotiating for him to concede if he has lost the election. Because if they are going to the negotiation with the knowledge that they have lost the election, then there is no point. Chibuba should be negotiating with them. What are you negotiating with them for? You negotiate for somebody to concede? That is unheard of. It is his duty, his Republican duty, and a responsibility to him as a leader, if he has lost the election, to gracefully acknowledge the results of the election and concede to the winner of the elections. So this talk about maybe they are creating time for him to negotiate an exit strategy is not a military hold-up. You hear about exit strategy with military hold-up and not a civilian transition. If actually there was an election, for me, I think there was no election. There's never been an election in Cameroon. Let's not be kidding ourselves by calling a lot of the Shari that have gone in every after 5, they move to 7 years, and then they move to these regional and parliamentary elections that you and every honest broker that has been observing the political situation in Cameroon to be honest to themselves that they have never been an election in that country.
Well, it's difficult to be talking about conceding. That doesn't happen a lot in Africa, not even in some countries that you would consider a little bit democratic, talk less of a country that has had a single leader for 42 years. I think right now, the fear is if we do not negotiate something, we are not going to live safely and we're not going to live with the loot that they have. Because I think they see the pressure. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Constitutional Council deliberately suspended proclamation of the results tomorrow just to see that that arrangement takes place and they can hand over, peacefully walk away. Some of them go on exile and leave the country to Chirima. Because I don't say you cannot. Bia is not a Democrat. None of them is a Democrat to think that they should concede. If they will, of course, they will do that. Maybe sometime Monday or at the weekend before the results are actually read.
But again, you are under the false assumption that the Constitutional Council or even a LECAM is separate from the regime. That is an intricate part of the regime. So are you saying the regime or the Constitutional Council is negotiating with itself? No, the answer is no. What people have to understand before they got to this point, you will be. I think you cannot negate the fact that they are confident of what they can do. You are dealing with savages here, so I don't think they might be negotiating, but I don't think that they will be negotiating something of an exit strategy for him. I don't think so.
We'll have to watch and see what goes on there. Now, the Constitutional Council will be coming up with results on Monday, or what they call official results. And as we know, unless they choose to do the right thing, they will be proclaiming results slightly different from what Issa Chiroma has put out, as we can see in these images. 54.8% for him, 31.3% for him. Overwhelmingly, the public believe that these figures are correct because this is a combination of all the figures reported and provided from polling station by polling station to the Chiroma's campaign. Uh, but what we see on the Monday will slightly be different from this. How? How do they justify? How does ELECAM and the Constitutional Council prove that their results are more authentic than these ones?
I think again, even looking at the results, it is a sad day for the people of Cameroon that a 93-year-old octogenarian could even get up to 31% of the vote. Now, aside from that, what have the other opposition parties who have these pavies done? What is holding them from making this procès verbal or whatever they call it in French, making them public, so that people can begin to see that this is the actual result that matches what Kiruma is saying, or what is going that matches what the Constitutional Council is going to say. What is holding them from making those papers public to the general public? What is holding them? The SDF indicated that they had 31,000 poll workers in across the country, saying that they definitely have 32 or 31,000 papers from all those polling stations. What is holding the SDF from making those results public so that we can correlate the data and know who is actually speaking the truth? Because at the end of the day, it's not going to be a fight between Chiruma and the CPDM. It's going to be the fight between the regime and the Cameroon people. And the other political parties or the opposition parties that were part of this election had a duty, for those of them who were in some of these polling stations, to make those results public. I don't want to go with the general way with the information that we see circulating on social media. There's a lot of tendency for people to manipulate data that you see on social media. Let the regime release the results. Let people verify, audit the results, and if what Chiruma is saying is the accurate information that came from the board, Biya has the responsibility to concede the presidency. 43 years of subjugation of a people is more than enough that people can take from Biya and his henchmen.
Talking about the people, we have seen these repetitions 1992 with John Frundi, 2018 with Maurice Kamto. The fear is if Issa Chiroma's coalition are not prepared beyond a week after the proclamation of the elections, the protest will be over. People grow fatigue and they go back to their businesses. Can they fight more than that this time?
And that is the point. I think from the beginning I said the people of Cameroon, that is the French Cameroon people, are not ready to take back their country, because we from the southern Cameroon stood up and said we've had enough. They did not toe the line with us to see that what we were saying, that this regime is not a regime that can be trusted. As far as they're concerned, they are eternal rulers of that country. Are they ready, like what you're saying? In 1992, we had a similar situation like this. There was a hold up. How long did people stay in the streets? Now that life is very expensive, a lot of those Benskinaires or the bike riders in Douala, in some of these major cities, if they don't go to work for a week, 2, 3 weeks, they will not be able to feed their families or pay their rent. If Chiluma and his supporters do not have a plan, which up to now, I don't know whether you have seen that. I have not seen any plan. I hear people saying we have to defend the vote. The youths have to fight for their future. That is not good enough. There must be a strategic plan on point A to point B to point C. If they arrest people in this particular area for protest, do we have lawyers that are going to defend these individuals? Because when people start seeing that in their communities, people are missing, people are disappearing, and there is no plan to follow up and verify the whereabouts of this individual, it's going to demotivate a lot of people. And that comes to the point that you're saying after a week, that whole energy might completely dissipate, and then Biya goes on, which is what the regime is counting
I don't know whether relying on the lawyers this time makes any difference in that country, because you remember the days of Bernard Mona and the ADF, the Yondo Blacks of La Republique, and the rest of them who thought that they could fight Cameroon through the law. It turned out to be that Cameroon is a law and the law is Cameroon, because they have the courts, they have the institutions, and their institutions manage all this process. So I don't know whether it is time to believe that anything can be different at this time.
No, not necessarily the lawyers. I'm saying the lawyers, if there is mass arrest in Chang, for example, and there is no action plan on either who is defending those in Chang, while the public outrage is still going on in Douala, it's going to discourage the people in Douala, Bafusan Boya, to continue the mass protest. If at all, that is what Mr. Chiduma is going to call. Because once people begin to feel unsafe, that they are arresting people and nobody and there's no plan, then it's going to demotivate them from continuing with the protest. There is no way that you're going to say they're going to fight this thing in the courts. It's not going to happen. The court is part of the regime. The legislature is part of the regime. So it is a fight that it is only the mass protest act. Earlier said, without a revolution, you cannot dislodge a 43 years old despotic and authoritarian regime. It's never happened. If it's happened, it's one or twice. So this whole idea that you were going to kick Biya out of office from the Supreme Magistracy through the ballot was just a fickle dream.
I'd like you to take a look at this image that emerged from Garoua on the night of the election. Take a look. All right, you are looking at the image that emerged from Garoua on the night of the election. Now, one element that we should look at in the whole plan of La République du Cameroon is the military. When you look at a population like this one pouring out in the north, and there will certainly be others, maybe from Douala, Bafoussam, maybe Yaounde. You know, you have lots of Awusas in the in Yaounde. You think they have enough army to confront a crowd, a mammoth crowd like this one, not just in Garawa, Bafoussam, Douala? Do they have enough? Also considering that for 9 years they have not beat Ambazonia.
The question is not about them having the military to confront a mammoth crowd like this. Do the people of East Cameroon or the people of Cameroon have the stomach to take what we have gone through for the past 9 years? Would they, if the guns start blurring or they have these helicopter gunships pouring ammunition on them, will they have the stomach to stand their ground? And that is why I'm saying that until they prove us otherwise, they have proven in 92 that they could not, in 2007, 2011, 2018, that they have not, even with the rejection of Kanto, that they have not been able to stand their ground. Are they going to do this time? Possibly. Let's hope they are ready to take back their country. If they are not ready to do that, then Biya is going to go in for another 7 years. Or maybe they will proclaim Biya the winner, and then a few days later, they get somebody sneak in to replace him. Could be that's what they have. That is still they are not making public to everyone.
Well, not another factor here is just Garawa alone. Now, let's just put to the Grand North, as they call it. That part of the country alone, they can fight. When it comes to fighting, and if they really mean to, they don't care to die. They don't care what they fight with, even with cutlasses and stuff. They will fight. That is what they are known for. Do you see them standing up this time to defend? No, let me put it this way. Before this election, we heard of power going back to the north. Power going back to the north. Do you see them fighting to retain that power, even if Douala, Bafoussam, Yaounde doesn't fight?
First of all, I detest the idea for also the Northerners to think that it is their birthright for power to return to them. And I'm not too convinced that they would fight. They have not done that. Their political godfather, Ijo, is still in Senegal for all this number of years. Have you asked yourself that it's not painful enough after 84, what they did to those Northerners, for them to go for 43 years under this regime, that they have not decided to take matters into their own hands? Until they prove us otherwise, the history is showing that they are as docile as even the people in the south. I think we overhype them to say, oh, these are Hausa people and these Wayus are going to fight. They have not proven to us that they have done that. Let them come out in the streets and demonstrate. Bia went to Marwa and campaign in Marwa in his only campaign outing. Have you asked yourself why? He has divided them. The people of Gariwa, the people of Marwa, and the people of Gambari, a lot of them don't also agree. So hopefully, let's see what is happening in Gariwa. And I hear that about 20 people were arrested in Gariwa and locked up, and nobody is saying anything about them. If that is true, what is the outrage? What is even the point of waiting until the declaration of the results when you already know that Chiruma won? They should be in the streets right now to put pressure on the government.
Well, they are calling for massive demonstrations. They were calling for massive demonstrations on Thursday. That is tomorrow, assuming the results were read tomorrow. Uh, and they gave the victory to Paul Biya, but I guess they are now targeting Monday, depending on what the outcome of the results is. The message is go out and celebrate if Issa Chiroma is proclaimed winner. However, go out, demonstrate, protest if Bia is declared winner.
Are you convinced that Biya and his psychophants are going to make a proclamation on Monday, or even if it was tomorrow, that Chiruma won those results? If you say yes, then I gotta preach to tell you to know where. You know they are not going to do that. There's no
I
reason why
really,
they
let me be the devil's advocate here. Let me be the devil's advocate here. I am really having the feeling that, as they say, the impossible isn't Cameroonian, right? They may
they
be feeling the heat, and they are saying among themselves, we better negotiate our exit out before this thing turns rough into our hands. Don't you think that? They have families, they
uh,
have businesses, they don't want to risk it, I believe.
my brother, I would beg to disagree with you that you knowing that regime for 43 years, they are not going to walk out peacefully. It's not going to happen. They are going to dare the population. They are going to declare Biya the winner of this election, and then they will say, "Let's see what is going to happen." They are ready for it. You think they are not ready? You think they were not anticipating this type of situation? They anticipated this situation would come to anyway. So it's just a change of tactics. Now they have Chiruma who has been an insider with them. They know him in and out, and that's why you have been suggesting that there are backdoor negotiations or conversations going on, which could be true. But to put pressure on them to make sure that even if they are negotiating, they should be negotiating and exit gracefully for PR is to drive people to the street, not to wait until the declaration of that result. They can start celebrating even now. What is holding them from celebrating now until the declaration of the results? If it goes on their favor, they continue with the celebration. If it's not, they turn it into a mass protest.
One of the points I made in my monologue is the question, which I think a question that everybody out there should be asking, and it is the number one evidence of fraud in that election. And if Issa Chiruma's camp isn't capitalizing on this, I don't know what their legal strategy is. Because think about this. This week, the end of this week will make it 2 weeks because Jeune Afrique says last week, probably late last week or early last week, Biya sent an emissary to Issa Chiroma in the person of the governor of the northern region and another delegation. And they offered Issa Chiroma the position of prime minister, as we've already discussed. But this is where the smoking gun is. If the results have not been officially proclaimed, how did Biya know he won the election to the extent of negotiating what Issa Chiroma should take?
Well, but you are still just reiterating the point that it was a charade, it was a sham, there was no election. They've just realized that Chiruma has gained some level of notoriety within the country and a following. And so they say, all right, for us to pacify the people, we're going to offer you this position if actually the reporting is true until verified, because they have not come out either to debunk it or to confirm that that is what happened. So if he had sent out a delegation to negotiate with Chiruma, these things happen. In an election, you see that your closest opponent has a mass following. 31% that they are giving Chiruma that after the elections is a huge number. So for them to offer him a role, I don't think that is anything strange. Not because they think that he won or because they cannot feel that the tension is too much on their side. It would just be regular jogging behind the scenes.
I'd like you to stay put, take a look at this. Listen to this francophone appealing to Ambazonians to go out and demonstrate and join Issa Chiroma to demonstrate and protest the results of the election. Listen to it.
Macondre people, Anglophone people, I want to tell you when I say, he don't bat. That when I don't go vote, when I say na Issa Chiruma, we go join we all, and together we will fix any problem where it is for country. And now we don't take we all will say na Issa Chiruma. Now that people where they dey for Yaounde, that people where they detect like Arata, they don't sit up on top all vote. They say Nandem go decide say Paul Biya and Chantal Biya woti Njumba Ngongo. Nandem go continue control we country. If you will play, we don't die. Now the thing I want to tell you when I say, make any man, he must stand up fine for sake of say, no 1 day and a half will not feel say DPP continue for tip all money. They don't take all money for kerosene where they come all for Limbe. That kerosene where they come all for Limbe. Now, they are there for power 43 years. This it don't build wati, usa road, usa water, usa electricity. That money for petrol for Limben and the money is the inter for them pocket. Where the same petrol where it there for Donso, now you go for Guinea Equatorial. When I go see how Obiangema don't build country. Now that probably it don't come for one man country. It don't give them petrol for Yo-Yo and Yolanda where they just discover where it go change life for all Cameroon for 100 years. Now it don't come give them. Now you know one go it in Gangang say na for day na for try it die. Now you want tell when I say I know you are courage And all Cameroonian wait for North, for South, everyone, young people will be ready. We will shoot them pepper.
Okay, okay. We will show them pepper. This is my worry. This is my worry about people like this. And I have been asking for 9 years, that Amazonians have been fighting to regain their dignity and freedom. Where have these people been to make such appeals to the Francophone population to support their brothers? Their brothers stand up for their freedoms and their liberties. Suddenly, Chiroma wins an election and they want us to go march on the streets, declare ghost towns, and fight for them as usual, as we've always fought. What do you make of an appeal like this, brother?
Secretary Chris, is something that is derisively and mockingly laughable. This is political chicanery. He should hide his face in disgrace and in shame that he could even try to peddle those things like the kerosene that is your country. They have stolen it and all of that. People who had participated in the subjugation and the complete dehumanization of the people of Southern Cameroon, for individuals like this to go on TV and try to pander to the fears that is happening in their own country now, to try to appeal to our people, is just beyond comprehension, and it is reprehensible for somebody like that to play this kind of political games at this time. They didn't feel our pain, and not even him alone. You have some of our own brothers who are now saying that we facilitated Bia's victory by calling for complete shutdown, lockdown, that enabled Bia to stuff the ballot boxes in places where votes did not happen. And I said, if you had just followed the lockdown and say, hey, we're not going to vote, there would have been no vote in those places. You went out and campaigned on people to vote. Bia is not showing you that you campaigned for people to vote and people voted. Why are you arguing the fact? This is the time that I have put out the challenge to the federalists that you said we have been on to the extremes. You call us the extremists, that we have not accepted negotiations, that we have been obstructionists, that we have been difficult to deal with. Now that you've had this head-on coalition, that Bia is not somebody. I know most of them are lining up behind Chiroma.
Yeah.
If Bia succeeds to maintain the supreme magistracy in that country, I want the federalists to tell us exactly what they are going to do next, because it's not just enough to try to paint the Amazonians as the scapegoats, as what they have done for the past 9 years. Because a lot of them are coming back to what we have pointed out from the beginning, that it is no reasonable individual who want to continue to deal with this regime, because they have demonstrated their intransigence in engaging in any kind of genuine dialogue to address the concerns and the aspirations of not only the people of Southern Cameroon, but the entire country of Cameroon. So for any of them to now try to come out and play these political games to appeal to us when they were massacring our people, when they drove our people out of their homes from Sagam to Donga Mandong, millions of people internally displaced, thousands of people as refugees in neighboring countries, millions of our people who have left their villages, thousands of our people incarcerated in their dungeons. How many of these people have called for the release of Sese Kwayotabe and his cabinet secretaries? How many of them? Yeah. Even among our own Southern Cameroonians, who are now trying to now tie everything to us as if, okay, you people did not go for elections. If you go for elections, they're going to win. The Southern Cameroon electorate from the two English-speaking regions was just about one-third of the entire vote. With 80%, any serious political opposition candidate could beat Biya with just 80% of that country. For any one of them trying to pigeonhole us with the outcome of these elections, I think it is unfortunate.
All right, Brado, stay on in there. Let me bring John by Akuro, who has just joined us. John, it's a pleasure to have you, sir. You came in late, but at least you made it. My monologue was on uh, the biggest story that is making the rounds in La République du Cameroon about Paul Biya offering Issa Chiruma the position of Prime Minister to stop his contention over the results of the uh, election, and also promising him to pick out some of his collaborators, close collaborators for positions in the government. And he promised to revise the electoral code before the local elections next year. When they talk of fraud, if this is not the highest form of fraud, the evidence of the highest form of fraud, I don't know what it is, because the question is, before making these offers to Issa Chiroma when the official results have not been announced, how did Paul Biya know he won the election? I give it to you to tell us what is on your mind.
Well, Chris, you should know. Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me, and my regards to your audience, to all the people of the Southern Cameroons that are watching here. The first thing you need to know is, well, regarding how Bia should know that he won or did not win. Of course, all the political parties have the polling return sheets. So Bia definitely knows he lost. It's not a matter of Bia thinking that he won or did not win. That's also how Issa Chiruma knows that he won. Because all the political parties have election return sheets from their polling agents, or, I mean, they were getting some of those things from, various sources that could, provide them with those polling sheets. So each party will do an internal tally, and that party will definitely know who won, who lost, and that is why, in normal circumstances, even in the United States, when a candidate calls the other to congratulate, it's not because the results, have officially been proclaimed. You know that in the United States, generally the official results are proclaimed in January, when elections happen in November. But each party has the possibility internally to see. So when you see it gets to a point where you know the gap is insurmountable, you will concede. And that's also how the media get all of those things from the various persons, and they are able to call
But that is different,
the
though, John.
election.
Hold on there. Making
Yeah.
offers is different from concession, right? You concede and say, I lost. Thank you for winning. But not conceding with offers that say, be my prime minister. That is different thing entirely.
No, that's actually where I was coming. Bia is
Okay.
not, he did not reach out to Issa Chiruma to concede. Bia is reaching out to Issa Chiruma to, tell Issa Chiruma that, you're a petit frere. You worked under me and all of those things. And, look, although you see all of those things, you think that you won, you lost. And all of those, they're still trying to play that kind of, that kind of game. And so what I like to say here, in effect, is Bia doesn't get it, because when we even say Bia here is an abuse of language. It's the people who are surrounding Bia, because I really doubt if Bia even knows where he is 3/4 of the time during the day. So there's a report that I played on the JMA connection in French, where an RFI reporter is making clear that if they have to show some drone images that they have that really capture Bia in his natural being, where he is sometimes, and all of those when he's outside, Cameroonians, that Cameroon will simply fly up into pieces, because people will see a truth that has been hidden from them. So the truth is, Bia doesn't even know what is going on, and then you're going to offer a position to Issa Chiruma, a position that he knows is a moribund position, Look at what has been happening to John Gute. John Gute is one of the most disgraced, one of the most humiliated, and one of the most smashed prime ministers in Christendom. So who here is Chiruma actually negotiating with? They asked Chiruma to be prime minister under who? Under Ferdinand Gongo or under Paul Biya? That is the million-dollar question here. So this is something that is going to be really difficult because Issa Chiruma was within that government, and they know the truth that Biya is not there. They know the truth. So he knows very pertinently that if he yields, he's actually yielding to a kind of rulership by proxy. Because Paul Biya is not there, it means simply that you're now yielding to Chantal and and Ferdinand Gongo, and Chiruma should be very stupid to be accepting any forms of negotiations. He knows that these people are regretting they missed their opportunity to deal with him, to throw him in jail. So if he submits himself to them at this particular point in time, he is giving them an opportunity to finally, at a more convenient time, accomplish what they have always wanted to. They talk about electoral reform. That's Bangladesh. You recall how many times the BR system promised to bring in electoral reforms? That system will never reform
Yeah.
anything. And I just heard Comrade Etu Tabenyang talk. Hey, hello, Comrade. I did not greet you when I came in. I heard Comrade Etu Tabenyang say some very interesting things there. You see, people have been making noise. Some people have reached out to me because I say, "Oh, Mba Akuro, you have even seen some trash written by Mimi Mefo, Mimi Mefo Takambu, saying that because I happen to have information from people at the presidency, it means that we are working with them." And I asked myself if she's still a journalist. And she even weighs in on something that makes me ask if she knows what is meant by legal reporting. Sometimes we really glorify people who, I mean, we have the feeling that they know certain things, whereas in effect
Yes, they don't.
we raise them quickly
Absolutely.
before they really get complete. Because if she really got complete with her training and all of those things, she will know that legal reporting 101 calls you to talking on an issue that they say is going to court. You will define the genre that you are talking about. So I'm going back to this issue because, as Comrade Tabenyang said, look, the people should be happy that the southern Cameroons locked down because this exposed the CPDM beyond limits. It caused the regime to steal in ways that everyone everywhere in the world could simply see that this level of banditry was excessive. Because listen, in 2018, Elekam said 5.36% of the people in what they call Northwest participated at the election in 2018. The lockdown then was just about 2 weeks. It wasn't even as well followed as the one that happened this year. They said in the place they call Southwest, 15.96% participated. But this time around, all the consular offices in Yaounde, the diplomatic missions, everyone saw that for 6 weeks, the Southern Cameroon was not only locked, but locked across the board. Even Limbe, that sometimes used to violate, was effectively locked down. So
Yeah.
the people could not even have the possibility of campaigning. Then suddenly, on election day, Indian John Gute's village, voter participation was 100%. Go down memory lane, they have never had even 60%. Suddenly, Momo had more people voting than Mezam. I come from Momo. Momo had more people voting than Mezam. I mean, you see, all of these things simply put the beer government on the marketplace. And the reason is simple. Because they always play tricks in the northern regions. But since the northern regions were not up for the grab this time around, they needed another place to play those games. And now in the southern Cameroons, we locked down. If you never locked down in the southern Cameroons, told people go out there and participate at the elections, they would change the polling sheets like they did. And you will say, yes, people actually went out. Maybe that was how people expressed their opinions. But unfortunately for them, every place was locked down. So when you say in Batibo, for example, 5,800 and something people voted, even primary school children who are in Batibo ask you, where did those people come from? And so it becomes commonplace. So they should be excited that this happened and know they are eager to have our people help La République du Cameroon in protest. I am insisting, and I will be one of those who continue to tell our people Stay home. Someone reached out to me and said, people are preaching attack and this language for once, but asking people to stay home. The people of the Southern Cameroons, we have gone through thick and thin for 9 years. We have lost a lot of souls. La République du Cameroon citizens stood by and watched and even cheered their soldiers. Our people should not die for stupidity. Let the people of La République du Cameroon rise up, take their responsibility into their hands. Our people of the Southern Cameroon should stay focused and wait on guidelines on exactly what we do, what capital we make of this situation. That is what I believe, and that's what I stand by.
Well, you've made a point. But let's also look at another perspective here, the one which I asked Brado before, talking about the allegations of some fixing going on between the regime and the Camto campaign, trying to negotiate an exit for the regime's partners, including the president, which is why the proclamation is being delayed for Monday. What are you hearing out there?
Of course, there's so much going down undercurrents. I was just saying on my platform a while ago that the BR regime is calling in France to come in and help, broker some kind of arrangement with Issa Chiruma Bakari. This I want to say this, and this is why it's important for our people of the Southern Cameroons to take note. You are carrying yourself to go and put yourselves in a situation where they are sitting and negotiating their business, you are not involved. And at the end of the day, because even to those federalists who are dreaming that okay, Issa Chiruma Bakari has said he will go back to federalism, he will do this, he will do that. Let's be clear here. La République du Cameroon is not independent. Because imagine that in this kind of they are calling already on France. This tells you constantly. You notice recently that when people were making noise, oh, Paul Biya is not out there, Paul Biya is not there, Paul Biya cannot come out and campaign. When they called the election, Paul Biya is this. It took the French ambassador to go to A2D, bring Paul Biya out, talk to Paul Biya, then come and tell Cameroonians, no, your president is fine. Your president has a sound mind. Your president has a good frame of mind. He still masters everything. He captures everything very well. He knows what is going on. And I think he still has a capacity. Look at that. In the third millennium, and you tell our people that you should sit down and be waiting that Chiruma will come. If Chiruma has to go through France and all of those things to get himself installed there, Chiruma will definitely be playing the wheel of France. And the wheel of France is for the people of the Southern Cameroons to remain subjugated under La République du Cameroon. I want to say it here, Comrade Brado, Comrade Chris. There's been a huge discovery of mineral deposits in the northern zone, especially in the Donga Mantung Ngokutunja plain, and then part of Momo. Huge, very huge, scandalous deposits, and this is well documented. But every measure has been taken to prevent this information from getting public, because it will kill the narrative that the system has always made to say that the people of the grassfield, or what they call the Northwest, want independence of Southern Cameroons because they will benefit from the resources of the Southern Zone, or what they call Southwest. It will kill that narrative, number one. Number two, they also know that these people are politically very informed. And if they know, it will only intensify this war. And so therefore, France cannot dare allow a situation which will make them have to negotiate anything with Southern Cameroonians to have access to those rare earths that they have discovered. That's why they abolished federalism in the first place, because they need unfettered access, and that unfettered access can only be guaranteed with them operating with their prefect in Yaounde, because for them Cameroon is a province. Operating directly with our prefect in Yaounde and having access to our resources. So our people need to know and understand this. Whether it is Chiruma, whether it is Bello, whether it is Biya, whether it is whoever, as long as France will continue to call the shots in that country, even that two-state federation that some of those people are dreaming, you will never have it. And I've said this to our people. We must keep the steam alive. Anytime you settle for less than you deserve, you end up with far, 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 far less than you settled for. let's maintain our focus on the price and forget about the subplots.
Well, let's get to this point of the role that Ambazonia should play in this La République du Cameroon election thing. You know, before the elections, before their campaign, we made it very clear, and you have just also articulated that. But we made it very clear we have no role to play in it. We are not voting. We'll lock down the territory. And they told us that, you know, you are giving La République du Cameroon the victory. Again, you've mentioned that again. And people like Mimi, for whom I believe they are not out doing journalism, they are doing propaganda and activism. They said Ambazonia. In fact, they were putting out contrary information and telling people to go out and vote in Ambazonia, that Ambazonian leaders have opened the territory for elections to take place, whereas it was pure lie. And I continue to read some horrible publication. You're right. Last week I called Hans Ngala Hansel, who runs CNA, and I asked him, what kind of journalism is Meme for doing? Because I know you talk to her, you collaborate with her. What kind of journalism does she do? I'm a journalist, but I don't sit here and boast that what I'm doing here is journalism because I am biased, and everybody knows that. But when you claim to be a journalist and you put out fabricated stories, it is horrible. It doesn't paint you as a journalist. But what is your opinion on this idea, John, that let us just pander? I use the word pander deliberately. Let's pander to the Chiroma campaign because he is going to be the Messiah. You will sit down and talk. How much do you trust La République du Cameroon politicians, sir?
Let me be very clear here. I don't have any problem against Issa Chiroma Bakari. I mean, I worked with Issa Chiroma Bakari. I've interviewed him a couple of times when I was in Yaounde. And I mean, I sat through commissions with Issa Chiroma Bakari. I can tell you, on a human plane, Issa Chiroma Bakari he's a gentleman. He's a nice person. On a human plane, on a one-on-one basis, Issa Chiroma Bakari is a very compassionate fellow and all of those things. But I want to be very clear here about what we are dealing with. We are dealing with a system, not with an individual. And if we look at it from the viewpoint of an individual, it becomes a bit complicated. You know, we should look at the context. France is facing a lot of problems today. Economic problems. Serious economic problems today. Because they lost the AES countries. That is Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. And so the resources they were getting from those countries to keep their economy going are no longer flowing. And so France is determined not to lose any other country. Not at all. And the worst for France will be Cameroon. Because Cameroon for France is extremely strategic where it is located, also in the Gulf of Guinea. When you have this knowledge, you understand that what we are up against is not just some kind of, give and take with a fellow politician in La République du Cameroon who will have a free mind to talk with us about things that concern just us in the sub-region. No, the dynamics are far bigger than those. And when we notice that the dynamics are far bigger than those, the only thing we can do is not to pander with Chiroma. No, if Chiroma needs help, overcoming his challenges in La République du Cameroon, he knows how to ask for that help. Already, Chris, I know you on social media, myself and others, we are lending a hand to citizens of La République du Cameroon, sharing information with them, sensitizing them, helping mobilize them to stand up for what they believe in. Let them defend themselves. You know, our people finally are yielding to the clarion call I've always made, and most of us have made, I think even with you, Chris, urging our people to fall back home. Because we need to go back home, organize ourselves, and focus on what is important for us. Now, at least, movements at the various agencies in Douala, Yaounde, in the big cities, leave me quite comfortable with the fact that our people are understanding because they are moving back home in good numbers. And that tells you that The people on the ground are looking at the situation, they are appreciating it, they are understanding it. Our people should have a place of respite. If we say we are pandering to Chiruma and open up our territory to all of those things, our people who have been moving all over the place, running for safety here and there, will again find themselves in jeopardy. We have a sacred fight. That sacred fight is for absolute independence. Don't forget, I always want us to go back to the wishes and aspirations of the people of the Southern Cameroons, as expressed especially on the ground through the referendum, or through the I call it the referendum, through the survey conducted by the late venerated Christian Cardinal Tomi. You recall the methods that he explained and how 69% of the people of the Southern Cameroons on ground, not including us in the diaspora, looking at the survey questions, did not see any option on one of the questions that talked about the form of the state. They did not see anywhere where it talked about independence. They went to where it was written order, where they have to input, to write, and 69% of them wrote absolute independence. That tells you what our people want. And if we say that we are working, fighting, and standing out on behalf of our people, we should be working in the direction of the wishes and aspirations of our people. When the CDN conducted their own survey, some years after, although they included the diaspora, the result, you now see that including the diaspora, the result were over 80% in favor of absolute independence. So this should tell you that let us wish Chiruma well. Let us continue to give them the kind of support that we are giving. Let them stand for themselves. Our focus should be calling on our sons and daughters, brothers and sisters who are serving in the military of La République du Cameroon, in the armed forces of La République du Cameroon, to open their eyes and understand that it is time to fall back home and to fight for true motherland, to fight for true fatherland. Not
And
to
that
continue, because
is
a lot of
a
them are going to be
very
getting
critical
killed
point.
for nonsense.
That is a very critical point, comrades, that I have made again and again and again. Our people in the army of La République du Cameroon, whether gendarmes, whether police, they have no reason to fight and die for a country that doesn't belong to them. This is time for them to come back home, regroup, and defend the territory. Let me get to Brado. What is your opinion on this, sir?
Those of them in the security agencies in the government of Cameroon should understand that they do not have a stake in that country. And it is obvious for everyone who wants to see, because a lot of people who keep denying what is going on, I think is for some of them, the very idea of belonging to Cameroon is something that maybe they live for. But people want to see that this dream of us realizing the complete restoration of the independence of the Southern Cameroon, it would make absolute sense. We have been rejected not once, not twice, and even now we're still being rejected. Would you really imagine that you would wait for an election for the French politicians to even open up to say there is a problem? Even Chiruma, that people are pandering to, he was a mouthpiece. He was the chief propagandist of the subjugation and the killing of the people of Southern Cameroon. Granted, we are praying that he should maybe take over. He might, as expressed, engage in some kind of genuine dialogue and negotiation to get to the root cause of the problems. But we should not fool ourselves that Chiruma is the problem. Remember, when Biya came in 1982, our forebears said, like the Munas and Funches, said, let's give him space. Given what Ayu had done, let's give him some time for him to settle in, and then we can bring in our problem. And then we realized that it wasn't even Biya, it was the system that is controlled from Paris. Like John said, Cameroon remains a vassal state of France. And this is not only an internal fight in Cameroon, it is a regional fight. as far as the Central African sub-region is concerned. This is geopolitics at its peak with what is going on. Washington trying to control what is happening in the Middle East and in Eastern Europe. France is reasserting its own political capital in the African subcontinent. Like John said, after the loss of the Sahel countries, the only way in that continent where they have the highest degree of leverage at this time is the Central African sub-region. They control both the monetary institutions like BEA and most of the political institutions in that sub-region. So it will be foolhardy for us to deceive ourselves that somehow the Messiah in the person of Chiruma is going to address this problem. So it is a clarion call for those of our people who are in their security apparatus to understand that you don't want to go pick a fight that you do not have a stake in. They do not have a stake in the fight that is going to ensue in the French Cameroon. At this time, either they stay up or they return back home for their own safety. Because when things tables will turn and it becomes ethnic cleansing and rivalry, they will first turn to the English speakers. They have done that repeatedly. You've seen that in some areas of the central region where they have driven out some of the internally displaced who came to their villages and tried to resettle. So you will know that this is an easy target. If things fall out and the center does not hold, or the center does no longer hold, and Biya knows that I'm going to fight it out, we would be his first scapegoat. He has scapegoat us for 9 years and with no pity. He has not even brought himself to address the people from that region. Even his wife, as a mother, had not taken the time to even condole with the mothers from that region for the amount of killing that they visited on the people from the southern Cameroons. So there is in no way, and even Cheruma, I know the federalists would be embracing him, thinking that he is the Messiah. Until proven otherwise, he had not yet proven. The mere utterances of his desire does not mean that that is what is going to do what given the supreme magistrate of that country, because he has proven that is a political chameleon. That I don't think that anybody is denying it. For anybody to take his word, just his word, as political capital, that this is what is going to happen once he gets into office. Maybe they have not lived in that country since 1982.
John, let me turn to you. There is a battle brewing out there between you and Joshua Osi, who is accusing you of making him to lose the election. Is it true that Joshua Osi has actually sued you here in the USA?
Well, he promised that he announced that he had filed a lawsuit against me in Cameroon and in the state of Maryland. So I'm waiting to be served. And so once I am served, I believe that Joshua Osi and myself will have our day in court. If he is arguing that, what I said, that what I brought out as information was unfounded, obviously he will come to court with, with elements to defend himself, while I'll also come to court with elements to defend myself. And OC Joshua and I know each other very well. When he said in his communique, one John Akura, I was wondering whether he was writing about me. OC Joshua and I know each other very well. OC Joshua knows, my focus and my determination when it comes to standing for the truth. OC Joshua knows that I fought very hard side by side the SDF. Even when I was working at CRTV, he is very informed that I don't talk from the blues. He knows that, he has an idea of my method. So, and then it's amazing because ever since he announced this nonsense, he doesn't even have an idea. The tons of documents that have been coming to me from the SDF, from SDF operatives and all of those things to not only corroborate what I said, to even point out to other things that he had done before. And so I mean, it's something that's quite exciting to a lot of people within the SDF party, because right now their party is even at crossroads. When OC comes, it will be an opportunity for us to be able to, subpoena his bank records and demonstrate before everyone the serious transactional nature of his relationship with the government of La République du Cameroon, and how that contributed in killing people in the country who continue to believe that they were militating for an opposition that was wanting change, that was wanting power. O.C. Joshua is even making a noise. Did O.C. Joshua send as many as half the number of people that needed to represent his party in the various at the various polling stations, in the 32,000 polling stations? Because even within his party, people are frustrated that in almost 6 to 7 regions, they did not have representation at the polling stations, all because of OC.
No,
OC was one of those people who shouted at the top of his voice he doesn't want any alliance. And listen, internal party records demonstrate that people within the party urged OC, told him the SDF right now realistically cannot win this election as a standalone. So it makes sense for us to go out to build alliances, work with other people to see how to dislodge the CPDM and Paul Biya from government. And then we can be able to renegotiate the future of our party. And OC said never would that happen. So he wasn't going in to win. He was going in to play the game that he played since 2018. He put in he made recourse to the Constitutional Council, calling for the partial cancellation of results in some precincts.
Yeah.
But even before that Constitutional Council started, of course, he knows what the result would be. That it will always be irreversible. Before they even started, he had withdrawn. The same thing that Cabral Libi did. Why is he the only one making a noise? Why is Cabral Libi not screaming? Why is Serge Espoir Matomba not screaming? Why is Bello Buba not screaming? He's the only one screaming. And by the way, just so he knows, there's also Prince Mbombo Njoya, who is in the United States of America here, who also sent out that information and even claim more. I hope he's getting ready to sue everybody. It's time for accountability. Our people have suffered a lot on the altar of very selfish idiots. Sorry to use that kind of expression, who only focus on their personal selves. O.C. Joshua is a very close friend to Frank Biya, and for years that has been the case. O.C. Joshua has always done business with the government of La République du Cameroon. He has been a careful supplier for the government of La République du Cameroon, for the presidency even. And so I don't even know what he is thinking about. They should know this, and I've said it before. There are far more disgruntled people within that government now than there are people happy with having that regime stay in place. So when they are doing all of those things that they are doing, they should know that they are fighting a battle with no hideout. And this is the same thing that I will say to our people who are there, who are in there trying to play fast, to play the traitors. You will be exposed. You saw that 2 gentlemen who went to tell the Minister of Trade, on confidential basis, that they had information with bike riders planning to, take strikes at 2 locations. The guy wrote their name, sent it to the Delegate General of National Security with their phone numbers, and it was written on it, highly confidential. Before the Delegate General even finished minuting on it, it was in social media with the names of these gentlemen and their phone numbers. So this should tell you that the number of people disgruntled who are handling all those transactions are far too many now than those who are pleased to see you playing that kind of stupid game. Chris.
Let me ask you, John, which is which kind of support the point or the allegations that you made. Since the elections were over, other politicians have, Akaremona, for example, they have acknowledged the fact that the CPDM lost the election. You have not heard a thing. He writes some kind of middle-the-line press statement. He cannot say that the people won, the opposition won. Neither would he say that the CPDM won. Himself, the UDC or the CDU, Cabral Libi, and the rest, they have remained quiet. Which kind of supports the allegation that they are working side by side with the CPDM, as if they believe the country is yearning for change as it is, as we see, They should be
Chris,
endorsing Chiroma.
Chris, let me not interrupt you. You saw the statements from Cabral Libi. Cabral Libi, first of all, begins by saying, "Oh, in some places I'm second, in others I am third. I have lost." But he doesn't tell you who is first, who is second,
Yeah.
who he is second to, or who he is third to. The next minute, you find Cabral Libi come again and issue a press release saying that people should not believe any kind of results that are circulating on social media. They should
Right.
wait for the Constitutional Council, which is exactly what I said was part of the precondition for them collecting that money. The next thing you also saw O.C. Joshua turn around. You saw the statement issued by O.C. Joshua, absolutely ambiguous.
Yeah.
I mean, just like tilting to let us wait to
Let
see
us wait
exactly
to official
what will happen.
results.
Bello Buba Maigari
And
is
hold
simply
on there, and hold on there, hold on there. He said, let us wait till official results. And he couldn't even tell us what his own results were, like other politicians were
Yes, he
doing.
couldn't. He couldn't. Because let me be clear here. Wait until O.C. Joshua doesn't come out to be quiet once the Constitutional Council releases those results. One of two things: he may simply go mute because of these issues that we're discussing now, or he would simply come out and congratulate Bia and recognize that they lost, Bia won. He did that in 2018. If you are doubting, go back, check the precedents. I don't have any problem with any personal problem with anybody out there. I sat peacefully. The people in Cameroon, in the governing class in Cameroon, they will trust me. They will reach out to me, and this I'm telling me, Takambu, they will reach out to me. They will share sensitive information with me because they know that under no pressure in the world would I ever release my source, because they had worked with me and they know my engagement, and they also share with me because they know my penchant towards ensuring the pursuit of the truth. And then, Chris, I want to go back to one issue that Mimi Mefo said in that her stupid write-up. She said I had previously lied that Sisiku, Ayuk Tabe, and these people were killed. You know, you and I had this conversation in 2018 when we came to agreement to protect the lives of our people because of intel you and I had.
Yeah, I know, I remember, yeah.
That there were plans to kill these people. And so we decided to force their hands, to show these people to the world. We agreed we will go out there. We knew that this information was not founded. That's why you were contacting members of the families of Sisiku, Ayuk Tabe, and those I could not reach. I was standing by Madame Tassang when I was saying this, and we'll reach out to the family members to let them know this information that you are getting is not true, but the objective is to force the government of Cameroon to speak up about the government of Cameroon and Nigeria, to speak up about the whereabouts of our people. I don't sit down to want to defend myself, because you and I know the result. As soon as that broadcast went out, 48 hours after, the government of Cameroon acknowledged that they had Sisiku Ayuk Tabe and the others in their keeping. We attained our objective. Because I'm saying this, sometimes people make a noise left and right. Curious, fortunately enough, I'm here on the set with you, where we had that conversation, had that discussion, and agreed on what to do in the interest of our people, to protect the lives of our people. I wouldn't care about Mimime for Takambu when it comes to protecting the lives of Southern Cameroonians. I will go to any end to do that. I did it before, and I'm assuring her and every other one listening to me, I will do it again if it has to protect the life of a Southern Cameroonian.
Brother, let me get to you. Does OC, I know you are not a lawyer, but does OC Joshua has any jurisdiction to sue John Ba Akoro in the Maryland court?
True, I'm not a lawyer, and he might have representatives here that could act on his behalf. So that is a possibility. But
hold on there. Yes, he may have representatives, but I don't know how legitimate those representatives may be. When Emmanuel Nsalai sued myself in California, in a court in California, and presented, what was the former mayor of Boya who died?
Ekema.
Ekema Patrick. And
Ekema
presented Ekema Patrick and some fictitious people as the real plaintiffs. As the plaintiffs against me. The court in California dismissed it and told him he had no jurisdiction because the people live in Cameroon. So I don't know
No,
how.
I think, Secretary Chris, there's a difference between suing and dismissing. He can
Okay.
sue, but that does not mean that the court will receive it, right? Let me say, like the Constitutional Council, they will say non-receivable or whatever you call it in French. So for him to sue, he might sue, but it does not in any way, shape, and form
Yes.
determine whether the court is going to receive that. For me, I see the SDF is dead. Be very honest with ourselves. And for a long time, a lot of people have been living in denial, thinking that OC could replicate what Burundi did in the 90s. It was not going to happen. The SDF lived like civilian in disguise and in destabilizing the party by dismissing some of the smartest individuals within that organization. So it is a shell of itself. And going into the election, for anyone should have thought that they had a chance. Besides, I always ask, where do they have all of these 30 million to even put in as application fees to run for elections? Within the party, he said you have to put in 50
Brother,
million
we're
before
having
you
difficulties
can.
with your audio, your microphone. It is breaking a
Can you hear
lot.
me?
Your
Can you hear me now?
microphone is breaking a lot. I think people are barely understanding you. But let me get back to John while you adjust that. John, have you figured out? I'm sure you may have consulted your lawyers. Does Joshua Ossie has any jurisdiction to sue you in the U.S. court?
Well, Chris, I should say that in effect, I have not really bothered myself about those details. I'm resident in the state of Maryland, and so if he wants to sue me in the state of Maryland, obviously the state of Maryland should have jurisdiction as to whether he has I mean the local
Jurisdiction.
standing to sue me in the state of Maryland. I mean, I really don't want to get into those nitty gritties. What I think is right now, I'm waiting for him to bring it on, and I really do want him to, bring it on because it will be important for the people of of Cameroon to know the truth. So I don't have any worries, and I think that the law is clear, and the laws in the United States are not the same laws in Cameroon. He also says he sued me in Cameroon. I'm waiting for the summonses. Once I get the summonses, we will go from there.
I
And
don't
Chris,
understand.
I suppose you and I are used to that nonsense of suing, not suing, suing, not suing, and all of those things. So, I mean, there's really nothing to kind of worry about. I think devoting time to discuss OC Joshua to me is like to be very candid, is like a waste of time. I guess we benefit more by continuing to guide our people on exactly provide our people information that will help them to manage the circumstances that we have right now before us. Because don't forget this, Chris. I'm taking you back to the issue that we discussed a while ago and on which Comrade Brado was weighing before he got a bit cut off. He was taking us, he talked about the systemic level of the challenges of the people of the southern Cameroons vis-a-vis La République du Cameroon. If you recall, in his discussion in France, in Paris, with Mo Ibrahim, Paul Biya made clear that it was something that was programmed. It was something that was, factored into a kind of calendar.
It was a policy.
Yes, it's a policy, long time policy.
Yeah.
And so when Paul Biya arrived in power in 1982 and 1984, taking a presidential decree to simply change the name of the country from the United Republic of Cameroon to the Republic of Cameroon was simply in line, in continuation of what policy
Aijo.
had been put in place between France and Ahidjo. And that's why Paul Biya said the intention was simply to assimilate the people of the southern Cameroons. But unfortunately, it has not worked. So that should tell you, if you look at what has happened from 2016 to this day that we are fighting, has La République du Cameroon taken one step behind in their assimilation project? No. You
Not
notice
not
that
one.
why the common law
Not
lawyers
one.
fought why the common law lawyers fought very hard against the appointment of citizens of La République du Cameroon, of droit civil magistrates in our courts. They never shifted. They have continued to appoint them. The numbers are rather growing. Next today, in application of the next part of the OHADA
Law.
Uniform Act governing Francophone Africa, they are now telling our lawyers, our common law lawyers, they will have to stop being notaries public at the same time, because they will appoint citizens of La République du Cameroon into our land to be
Yes.
notaries public, because not a single Southern Cameroonian legal mind has ever been trained, in the French system to be a notary public. We know that notaries public in the Anglo-Saxon system are at the same time lawyers. So this tells you they are not relenting. Even in the middle of this bloodbath, they are squeezing on the accelerator. It will be naive, therefore, for any person to think that Issa Chiruma is coming in to simply press pause on all of that. They will never stop. They have told themselves they have a fair chance of defeating us militarily, so they should just keep accelerating so that by the day they say it is over, they have rather gained rather than lost ground. So this should be our focus, not inanities like some OC Joshua getting lost and confused over whether he wants to defeat Paul Biya or he just wants to accompany and legitimize his stay in power.
Brado, 50 seconds so we can get over to the lines and call this a night.
I mean, I just want to dovetail to what John is saying, that we have to remain focused and do not allow ourselves to be distracted by some of the inanities that you're having out on social media. Even the references about for me, I think this conversation should be left in the back burner and stay focused. What is our stake in what is unraveling in Cameroon at this point? What is the fate of our people, those in jail, those who are internally displaced, those who are in the refugee camps? How do we make the best of this situation? That should be our focus. How do we, first of all, also bring our own house together and begin to speak in unison to send a strong and powerful message across the board, whether it's in the power spaces in France or in their capital in Paris, or in the power brokers in Yaounde, that we are dead set to achieve our ultimate goal for the liberation of our people. So we have to remain focused.
All right, please, gentlemen, stay in there. Let's get to the phones once I get back here. All right, gentlemen, we're gonna open the phone lines, but remember, before you call, make sure the volume of your TV set is turned down. The volume of your TV set must be turned down before you call. And if I pick your call and I hear noise in the background, the broadcast repeating itself in the background, I just drop and go to the next caller. Before I get there, I just received this, John and Brado. I just received this. This is what is happening or happened in Ottawa. In Ottawa today, a lot of public citizens invading what I believe here is the embassy of La Republic in Ottawa and demonstrating. Look, let's take a look at that. All right, again, that was in Ottawa today. Ottawa, remember, is the capital of Canada. That should be the embassy of La République du Cameroon in Canada, as you find the seal in the background, and the embassy swarmed both by the police and protesters. La Republican citizens chanting Chiroma, 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 Chiroma. I guess the revolt has started. I really hope that Cameroonians across the globe will get to every embassy of their own and stay there until Chiroma is pronounced the president of that country. That is how you fight. That is just how you fight. All right. Going to open the phone lines now. Again, before you call, make sure that you turn down the volume of your television set and focus on your phone. Stay on your phone. If I pick your call and there is a repetition in the background or echo in the background, I can't get your call. So the line is open and the number is right there on your screen, and we have only 10 minutes for this exercise. So go ahead and call if you have a contribution. All right. Hello. Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from Ground Zero, precisely.
Ground Zero, precisely where in Quen? Mutengene. Okay. What is on your mind, sir?
Yeah, I wish you could ask your comrade whether if the Republic decide to send out France out of their territory, will it really seek for total independence or how?
If La République decides to send out French out of their territory, would we be ready for total independence? Is that your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you for the call. Let me have them answer. I wouldn't answer, but I'll let them answer. John, 50 seconds. Brado, 50 seconds. If La Republicans, assuming Chiroma takes over and they send out the French as in Burkina Faso, does Ambazonia say, okay, the French are gone, let's stay and become part of La République du Cameroon?
No, I think for me, the my answer will be very unequivocal. The people are sovereign. And so at every given point, we'll allow the people of the Southern Cameroons to determine what they want for themselves. And at this point in time, the people of the Southern Cameroon, through the number of surveys we have seen, and through our determination and the experiences, the experience we've had dealing with La République du Cameroon have indicated very clearly they want absolute independence. We can deal with La République du Cameroon as a neighbor. There are many other countries in Africa that are independent and they're dealing with others as neighbors. So it is as simple and it's as clear. La République du Cameroon demonstrated to us beyond reasonable doubt that they can never be trusted. They offered us a couple of raw deals. So getting into any kind of arrangement again with La République du Cameroon will be absolutely erroneous. We'll wish them well and we'll even help them if they require to get France out of their country so they can take control of their country and develop it while we develop ours. And then we are neighbors who always interact. It's that simple. That's all I have to say.
All right, Brando, 50 seconds, please.
Brado, you are muted.
No, I think, okay, go on. Yeah, okay, go on, Brado.
No, I say just to piggyback and re-echo what John is saying, the people are sovereign, and I'm open for negotiations, but our independence is not predicated on the presence of the French in Cameroon. That is absolutely not true. We are not asking for complete dissociation with the people of Cameroon because of the French. No. The injustices that were brought upon our people is what we are asking to be corrected. We would not in any way, shape, and form predicate our independence based on the presence or the absence of the French in Cameroon. If the people decide that we should negotiate with the people of East Cameroon, that is what we're going to do. But personally, I don't think that our independence should be predicated on the presence of the French.
All right, let's get back to the phones. Hello.
Yes, Oliver, sir.
Okay, calling from where, sir?
I'm from Maryland.
All right, and what is on your mind?
Yeah, I'm so happy you have been having this show consistently to keep us abreast of what is coming. And my understanding is that the chair of the Constitutional Council postponed the proclamation of elections from tomorrow to Monday.
Correct.
And I also have gotten some sources that Isaac Roma's plan B is very much in place. And he actually went out of the country and came back to make more arrangements. And it would appear the poor BS have gotten wind of that. And that's why they decided to postpone the proclamation from tomorrow to Monday.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. Hold on, that's what we're saying. Many people did not know Chiroma was flying and actually got back to his destination this morning. And when they said the election proclamation are postponed to Monday, I wouldn't be surprised if the rumors we're hearing that it is about negotiating an exit for La Republique is not true.
Yes, that's a possibility that Bier, because it is understood that Bier himself, even though he is actually in dementia right now, the French talked to him, and he said he was not aware that the military had been deployed all over the country, especially the northern region. So maybe Bier himself not been so much aware of what's going on. May be saying that no, I think I need to rest. And if I'm walking to the tent, there's a possibility that he may concede. And that may be one of the reasons that they postponed the proclamation to Monday.
Well, that's one of the theories out there.
Hello?
Yes, that's one of the theories out there.
Yes. So which is a wait and see, but that is a possibility. And even in the plan, the three people who have been mentioned that are key that could be in big trouble, which are Ferdinand Ngongo, Chantal Bier, and Atanganji. Actually, the three proponents of this fraud that is happening to change the results of the sovereignty of the people. So that's where the problem is. So I just wanted to chip in a little bit concerning that. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the call. I guess if they are negotiating an exit for the Bier regime, you can imagine that Ngongo, Chantal Bier, Paul Atanganji would be the most beneficiaries, because those are the people who have been running the machine and they know what awaits them should Issa Chiroma take over. Let's get back to the phones. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Chris.
Yes, sir. Where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling you from the Netherlands.
Netherlands.
Well, first of all, want to thank you both and everything you do for the Ambazonia people on a daily basis. We appreciate that, and I dope my heart to Comrade John Bakuru and Mr. Tabeyan. I just wanted to highlight the situation in regards to Mr. Osi Joshua. Osi Joshua is a criminal, first of all. I think bringing the case against John Bakuru is an opportunity for Mr. John Bakuru to expose him. He was unable to sponsor a single bill when the military of Cameroon were slaughtering Southern Cameroonians. He was unable to speak up, and like always, it's very easy for Southern Cameroonians to bring down each other. This is an example of a failed politician who is unable to have the guts to speak on behalf of his people. So, Mr. John Bakuru, wait for him to come up when it's about time. Put in the paper there and whatever is necessary so we can contribute, and so you can go ahead and expose this ungrateful servant who has abandoned his own people and now is trying to bring down a fellow comrade. Thank you. That's all my contribution.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Great contribution there. The phone line is still open. Please go ahead and call. We have about 5 minutes before we call it a day. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Chris.
Hello, sir. Where are you calling from, please?
Texas.
Texas. What city or town in Texas, sir?
Dallas.
Dallas. Okay. What is on your mind?
Yeah, my mind is about the killing in Donga Mountain.
The killing in
I think
Donga
that's
Mountain.
what is
Okay. Who is killing
the
who?
update.
Who is killing who in Donga Mountain?
They said they kidnapped somebody, the mayor, assistant mayor,
Okay.
Ade,
What?
and he was kidnapped last night. Then today, I
Okay.
hear he was killed.
Who
So
is
can
said
you
to
have
have
some
kidnapped
clarification
him?
on that?
Who is said to have kidnapped him?
The separatist fighters.
Have you been able to establish that?
Pardon?
Have you been able to establish that he was kidnapped or killed by?
I was trying to get with you so that maybe you have some first-hand information.
No, I have no information. I have no idea. I am hearing it from you.
That is the issue on the ground. But I wanted to contribute to John Bakoro.
Go on,
He used
please.
to be my icon.
Yes, go on. Go on.
Hello,
Go on.
John
Yes.
Bakoro. I'm here to say hi to you. You used to be my best journalist on CRTV.
He's hearing you, sir. Go on.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's
Thank you
all I
very
have.
much. Thank you for
Praying
the
for
accolade.
peace.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Hello. 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 Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. I can hear you, sir. Where are you calling from?
Hello, Comrade Chris.
Yes, I can hear you. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Dubai, United Arab Emirates.
Okay, thanks for the call. And what do you have on your mind, sir?
Yes, I want to contribute on what is happening in Cameroon, because I would like the Cameroonians to understand that Mr. Paul Biya, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go on.
Yes, what I was trying to explain is that I want Mr. Chinje and his cabinet, Mr. Chiroma, we have to understand that Mr. Paul Biya did not get into power through election, and we should not believe that election should pull out Mr. Paul Biya out of chair. And those people who are clamoring for federation and everything, it is only firepower that can remove Mr. Paul Biya from chair, because he did not get into power through election, and we don't expect him to quit power through election. So Mr. Chinje and President-elect Jeroma, they should be ready to defend the vote. As for us, West Cameroon and Amazonia, we are a separate state. So
All right.
it is only the guns that I think can remove Mr. Paul Biya from power. You can recall that, best of my knowledge, Cameroon is the only nation in the world that a president's portrait is campaigning for an election. And I do agree with what Mr. John Akuro was trying to highlight there about the assimilation of the people of West Cameroon, that the acceleration that the French Cameroon are still doing is really very high.
All
So
right.
this is my contribution. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
When you call, please before you call, make sure that your TV set, the volume is tuned down. I can't pick your call. Hello.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Dubai.
Okay, another Dubai. What is on your mind,
Yes.
sir?
Okay, sir. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. This is my first time calling on your program.
Okay.
I would also like to greet Comrade John Bahakuru also for the first time talking to him through your program. And please, I really need your assistance to start by recalling the month which you group of leaders had to come together and form a new group. I think I want to start from there before contributing, sir. I need your assistance in this, sir.
Okay, I'm hearing you. Go on.
Yeah. When that group was created, we were really, really happy concerning the projects for that group. And now that
which group are you referring to?
Him as the president.
Which group are you referring to?
Yes, sir.
Which group are you referring to that was formed?
No, I mean Ambazonia Leaders Group.
Oh, okay.
Which
all
people
right.
had a meeting in South Africa. I followed in one of your programs. You went to South Africa for that.
Yes, go on.
Yes, sir. So my question this evening is to ask, how prepared is this group ready to work with Issa Chiroma? Or is there anything for us Ambazonians to hope from the leaders group?
In your opinion, in your opinion, how would you expect? How do you expect Ambazonian leaders to work with Issa Chiroma?
I think since we already have Eric Chinje and Agbobala working with them, I think the leaders group should push forward for these two people to bring Issa Chiroma to our leaders group, so we can now have the beginning of where you people stop with the Canadian talks.
All right. Thank you, sir, for the call. I hear you.
You're welcome, sir.
Hello.
Hello, Comrade Prince. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Ground Zero.
Okay, what is on your mind?
Sorry. I'm calling from La Republique. Let me just put it that way.
You know La Republique is not Ground Zero. You know that, right?
Yes, sir.
That's a neighboring country.
Yes, sir. I know.
That's actually Ground One.
Yeah, I know.
All
That's
right,
why I corrected myself.
Go on with your contribution.
All right, sir. What I wanted to contribute is that the situation even happening in La Republique presently is the issue of famine, hunger, because a lot of people, like, they need to know that actually the system, they have to change the system, because it is so disgusting, it is so like unbelievable for two law enforcement officers to be fighting on the street. For example, yesterday I was going to work, I around if you know Yaounde a bit, you around the Flamenco Carrefour, because the La Republique, they have sent already militaries outside because of the tension. So it happens that the population caught a thief that went to steal that early morning, and they were shouting. So one of those gendarme guys that was maybe in the Carrefour, by the Carrefour, rushed there to take the armed robber to their station. Unfortunately for him, there were some policemen, like 3 of them, also there at the Carrefour with their truck.
So what happened? Make the point. We don't have the time.
Yeah, they rushed there to take the guy, and they were fighting over the armed robber. Like, they were saying, I want to take. Unfortunately, they started fighting among themselves, the gendarme and the police. And they saw the gendarme man dress, the uniform with the ranks on it, and it was like a serious fight between the police and the gendarmes.
Okay.
So it is really.
Okay, tell me, I hear that lots of people are moving back to Ambazonia from La République du Cameroon. Have you heard of that or seen any person going back?
Obviously, like today, I was driving along the Oja Road. Around Musango, I saw a lot of vehicles leaving Musango agency to Boya, because normally the VIPs vehicles at Musango, they always leave very early in the morning, around 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. But today, it was so shocking to me to see that by midday vehicles were still leaving. So it shows that a huge number of maybe Ambazonians are going back to the southwest and northwest.
Yeah, and I've also heard that even francophones, a lot are pouring into Boya, Victoria, Kumba, and then Bamenda, as I learned today.
That's true, because normally even around town you have this traffic like we used to have traffic in town. Like all the big people, some of them have carried their families to their villages. That's what is happening.
All right, thank you for the call.
Thank you very much, sir. Good night, sir.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will end it there with the phone calls today. Unfortunately, we don't have the time to continue. John and Brado, let me give you 1 minute each to speak to our people. There is this appeal we are putting out there, asking our people if you are still living in La République du Cameroon. This is the time you pick up your bags and luggages and head back home. Even if home is where there is no house, you are still safer there than in La République du Cameroon. Let me get your thoughts on this place. John, you go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Thank you, Comrade Brado. It's a pleasure meeting you on this platform, sparring with you. And I want to thank all those in the audience who have extended to me their regards. Thank you so much for your accolades. I want to chime in very quickly in conclusion on one of the issues that one of the callers have raised by saying that it would appear Paul Biya may be wanting to, concede. That's why they shifted the date of the proclamation of the election, or that perhaps he says he's not aware that they have sent troops out there and all of those. Let me be very clear to everyone here. If they push that date, is simply to see if they are able to diffuse the tension before the time of proclamation of the results, number one. Number two, if they also shifted that date, is to try and see if they can give themselves time to see if, ongoing discussions and negotiations with Issa Chiruma Bakari can cause him to, shift a bit in his position, and at the same time giving them time also to evaluate the resources that they have to face off with the challenges that they're expecting to meet on the streets. As for Paul Biya conceding, that one, cancel it. As long as Paul Biya is breathing air, even if it's 135, trust me, Paul Biya is going to be candidate, and the elections will be rigged in favor of Paul Biya. The former president is a language Paul Biya will never ever want to hear. Nobody should fool you. He may be suffering from dementia and all of those things, but the one thing he remains conscious about is that he has to be president. He knows he has committed he has wreaked a lot of havoc on a lot of people, and he knows the law of retribution. So Paul Biya, if he's to live for one extra day, he must be president. So if you put this in your head, you have the possibility to appreciate these things further. So they believe that France will have to bring pressure to bear on Issa Chiruma to accept that, okay, let's get into some kind of power sharing arrangement, because that is mostly what they will be struggling with. But my one piece of advice to Issa Chiruma, accepting any power sharing arrangement with Biya will be the biggest mistake of all times he would have committed. Because right now, the level of support he has, and this is for Twitter support, Chiruma should not look at this popularity, this support, and think he has a base. Chiruma still does not have a political base. He does not have that popular support, that political capital that he can hope on the next time. This is his year. This is his only time. And this kind of opportunities come only once in a lifetime. Those militants who are standing, vouching, ready to die for him are not militants of his party. These are people who want change. And if he betrays this opportunity, that will be the end of him. So it is better for him to continue to do what he has said in his speeches, standing all the way to the end. That's my piece of advice for him. Thanks.
All right. Brado, please.
John Akuro. Thank you to the viewers and all the callers. I would not want to repeat what John has aptly analyzed, that any semblance of anyone thinking that the decision to move the proclamation to Monday because BI is negotiating an exit strategy is really you selling somebody a bridge to nowhere. He's not going to do that. They are evaluating the options that they have to crush any substantial challenge that they will get from Chiruma. So Chiruma has a responsibility now to stand up all the way. I am afraid that if they offer him the speaker or the president of the Senate, then Wajo guy can take it because they might tell him you are next in line if actually they're negotiating. Now, I think one of the callers referenced that you have Eric Chingy and Bala who are within the internal circles of Chiruma. Should our leaders be working through them? I think Chiruma will be best served by knowing the true leaders of the people of Southern Cameroon. We will not tolerate or embrace any trying efforts to go around the leadership that has stood firm for the complete liberation of the people of Southern Cameroon. He knows where those leaders are. Some of those leaders are in their dungeons in Yaounde. Some of them are in the diaspora. We would not replace the leadership of this revolution with people who have not stood for the complete liberation of the people of Southern Cameroon. So thank you, Comrade Chris.
Thank you, Brado. Thank you, John, for being part of the show. You have a great night, sir. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the show tonight. And but before I go, in a lighter mood, let me bring you some of these cartoons put out there in a very articulated, though graphically method by one of us out there, Don Dinga, depicting exactly the nature of the battle as it is ensuing in La République du Cameroon. And here is it. Look at that. The three key players, you have them there. You have Elekam. And the boss is saying, Lekam boss is saying, boss is telling Atangaji, it's going to be tough. And Atangaji is saying you must get the right results. And here, make sure I win by landslide. That is phobia. And I mean, just watch that and have fun for yourself. Again, that is done courtesy Don Dinga. Don Dinga, very great artist out there. Okay, all right. I hope you were illuminated today in the course of this broadcast. Please, I continue to make the appeal for you to support ABS. We're looking forward for 100 people. We're looking forward to 100 people who will say, Chris, I am ready to support what ABS is doing for you to keep the satellites running. We just commit a commitment of $25 a month. We want you to join that group of 100 ABS supporters. And if you are ready to do that, please send me a message on the telephone number we had on the screen. And let me know. I look forward to being back here tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope that you will all stay tuned in. We're going to be on a daily basis, until these elections are set and done and the winner declared. When we come tomorrow, we're going to have a powerful panel that would be discussing essentially the same subject, the ongoings in Yaounde, the power play in Yaounde to declare who won and who lost the election. So please, I look forward to being here tomorrow. God bless you all for tuning in. Please come back tomorrow. Come back tomorrow. Thank you and good night.
Ikifikanga hapo tunafanyanga hivyo huko kwetu, sijui hapa. Duongi pako dogo neja Nazareth jatela mina rudhu muma Yesu rudhu kue ratego chiengo wange dongo Manuel Girigeno. Hata kama usiki utasikia, hata kama upati utapata. Hallelujah! Ni wala nono chenga jamono, ni wala nono taya. Utasema tu taya peke yake. Sibuono maradodo Juda Manuel Girigeno Yesu siepo joyalo. Nataka mnipigie tu kitu tafadhali kidogo tu kama tujaimba Yesu. Hey! Wadia la tengo setelo. Numudogni. Ni wala nono chenga jamono, ni wala nono. Amina rubelala, ni wala nono. Yesu gir geno